the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. Terry Collins along with Justin Mauldin, and a week worth of district play under our belts, Justin, and you're kind of seeing some teams that maybe a little bit surprising, some maybe, got an upset or two, but that's the fun thing about district play.
Yeah, we've had to wait a little bit longer than usual. I know with the way classifications are done now, and we didn't have any of our teams play district games until January, and that's the first time that's happened in a very, very long time. We've had to wait that long into the season, but hey, it's here now and it's exciting.
Let's go ahead and look. We had White County and DeKalb County. Josh Agee and myself up in Smithville in the girls' game. Looked like DeKalb County was going to pull off an upset. They run out to a 20-12 lead after one quarter, but White County rebounds and improved, I think, to 18-1 with an 80-49 win. They really made a lot of three-pointers, and Ava Jones, a big night for them, 23 points, 11 for 12 from the free throw line. Celeste Reed with 14, no doubt a double-double, but they had a lot of different weapons, Justin, that stepped up and scored. They've got a lot of pieces to the puzzle that makes them a very hard team to defend.
Yeah, we'll look here at a little bit at the standings, and 2 games in already. They're 2-0 in the district. You've only got 10.
They're 1-1.
They're 1-1.
Yeah, they lost to Stone.
You're correct. I'm sorry. I apologize. They're 1-1. They're 1-1 in the district, which is they'll have the chance to get that game back,
right,
though, and to take them on. And it's one of those deals. I'm sure they were reflecting after that game what they did well, what they didn't do. I'm sure they're going to look back on the first quarter of this game and think, what can we do to avoid that the next time we play when we're playing in Sparta, so that we don't have a repeat of the slow start again.
But when you look for DeKalb County there, Chloe Van Branken with 14 and Ella Van Branken with 13. But once they went man-to-man, Justin, the game really shifted in their favor. They outscored them about 31, I guess, 39 points the last 3 quarters, did White County in getting that win. Let's go ahead and look at the boys contest. DeKalb County really struggled. Connor Close with 17, but Lucas Dickerson with 20, Trip Pinion with 13. In this game, DeKalb led 17-8 in the early stages of the second quarter, but they just couldn't hold on. And White County, to their credit, who's really struggled this year, coming into that game, Justin, they were 5-7. When's the last time you saw Eric Mitchell coached White County team with that poor of a record?
For me, I don't know. Even from the time, when I was in high school and we competed against them, I don't remember them ever starting out that slow at all. I tell you, the one thing that stuck out to me, and you sent me the information on this game, but Lucas Dickerson hitting that many shots from the perimeter, 6 3-pointers. He was having a time splashing it from deep.
Trip Pinion did everything for them. When they spread the floor in the fourth quarter, I mean, he just like he's such a great field general. He doesn't shoot it that much, but just does a great job getting them in their sets and getting people open looks. Let's go ahead and take a look. We had a game that we covered, and that was the Huff Puff Trucking Game of the Week when Watertown traveled over to Bill Landers Gym, and Lucas and Bud had that one for us as Smith County Aaron Enoch, a very impressive 20 points, but 11 of 11 from the free throw line. Justin, it's hard, and you got to see that game just like I did, to go 11 for 11 from layups, much less from 15 foot away.
Yeah, no, I knew she was on the line quite a bit. I did not realize that she was perfect from the charity stripe, though, until after the game. And that's very, very difficult to do, whether you're in a game situation or you're in practice trying to hit 11 free throws in a row. That would be hard.
Well, you look at Julia Dickerson with 4 threes there, Chloe Collins with 12 points as well, Marissa Spivey with 7. But when you look at Spivey's stat line, get this, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals, 4 assists. You think, well, but, that's a stat stuffer. I mean, maybe she didn't have that great a night scoring. I mean, she didn't shoot that much. But still, the things that she does for the Lady Owls, she just does a tremendous job.
Something I've seen on social media that's come through on my feeds quite a bit lately is an illustration of basically trying to show everybody focuses on scoring, but there's other aspects to the game, and you need to be focusing on those too, because those can make or break you. Even though it may not show up on the stat sheet, at the end of the day, it contributes to the win, and that's exactly what Marissa did.
Madison King with 13 points, hit her first 5 shots from the floor. Izzy Burns with 12. They were down 52-32. There was 6:52 to go in the ball game, but Watertown, I thought, showed a lot of heart to cut that back to 9. Wound up losing by 11. Jeff Keller's bunch drops to 10-7 overall, 0-2 in the district. But, you know, they went to York, which is a very, very tough place to play. And I see a very much improved Purple Tigerette squad.
Yes, no, they're continuing to get better each and every night that they step on the court. And even you said they never gave up. They had the heart through it, and they lingered around and they stayed around. I know there were a lot of us in that gym watching that game. We're wondering, you know, are they going to come back and you know, make a game of this?
Smith County wins their 5th straight game. Looking at the boys, Smith County boys gets the win, 65-30. Kevin Honeycutt's team really did struggle. Bennett Gammon, new player out for Smith County, had 11. Morgan Sinclair 10, but a very, very balanced night for the Owls. Taylor Carruthers with 8 for Watertown, but still, I know Coach Honeycutt was not pleased with his team's effort. I mean, they really struggled. I mean, you know, they led 8-7. Then Smith County scores the last 7 of the first quarter, and then they go on an 18-4 run in that second quarter, and then the third quarter they go on a 21-11 run and really widen that gap. Smith County right now is playing with some confidence.
Yeah, they are. And you mentioned, you know, Bennett Gammon coming off. I think this is his 5th game. I think it's his 5th game in a row that he's led them in scoring as well. And he's someone he's been in the school, he's been in the hallways his entire high school career there. It's just the first time he stepped back on the court since the 8th grade. And he's provided them a boost and a different dynamic to the game, something that they didn't have before. And it extends their bench too, because now they've got a deeper bench. You know, so situationally they can get rest when they need it, and they can depend on somebody else to come off that to contribute. Let's
look at some scores. Gordonsville girls, Sonic of Carthage scores. Red Bowling gets the win over the Tigerettes, 40-29. Trousdale County in close one there on Saturday night in Gordonsville, 57-54. And then Pickett County beats them 75-39 over 39 in the Tiger Den. Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Pickett County and Clark Range on top there at 2-0. Of course, they'll be clashing here, I think, in the next week. You got Clay County at 1-1, Red Bowling at 1-2, Gordonsville at 0-3. You know, when you look, Pickett and Clark Range, at least in the early going, at least first week, look to be the cream of the crop.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's surprising to anyone to see them there at the top. It's kind of what we would have expected, you know, from these teams. I know Coach Smith and Coach Rogers have got their teams playing well. I know Coach Dillard, you know, Gordonsville now starting 5 sophomores with some things that have happened there. Doesn't have a very deep bench, so he's going to be relying heavily on those 5 to contribute heavy minutes for the rest of the season. But 5 teams, if you can slide into, even in that play-in game, get that win and manage to make the region tournament, I know they're confident that if they can get to region, they believe they can make something happen and potentially win a region game too. So all hope's not lost.
Sonic of Carthage, Gordonsville boys scores. They beat Red Bowling 47-42, a big win for them because Red Bowling went to Clay County and got the win. Gordonsville goes, plays Trousdale County, beats them by 8 after avenging the loss during the DTC Christmas Classic, and then Pickett County beats them 50-43. So let's go ahead and look at the boys' standings. Pickett sitting there on top at 2-0. Then you got Red Bowling there at 2-1, Gordonsville 1-1, Clark Range 0-1, and Clay County 0-2. You know, you've got some teams that are struggling in this district, maybe not as dominant as we've seen them in times past.
Yeah, and if you look at a lot of the schedules of these teams, though, I think it's deceiving because they have played up quite a bit. They have played in some Hall of Fame games and different classics and traveled into some different tournaments. Played some unknown teams, too, with some of them traveling out of state. So I'm curious to see as we get into more into district play how everything ends up shaking out. I know Clark Range has only got the 1 game because them and Gordonsville are going to have to make up that one. So, but yeah, when you're 3 games in, already 8 games is all you've got. Red Boilin's almost halfway through their district play already. So
let's go ahead and look at the Cannon County girls score for Ashley Patrick. Central Magnet gets the win over Cannon County in overtime, 46-39. Cannon County still having a great year. Cannon County at Grundy County on Tuesday night was postponed. And then let's go ahead and look at the standings. You got Cannon and Grundy still on top. We still think that's the 2 teams to beat. Of course, we don't know a lot about Grundy, Community, Forest, and Cascade. Not teams that we normally keep up with or see their games. So, you know, with them in 9AA and being kind of, you know, on the outer edges of this, a lot of their teams are south and west of them. It's just going to take us get used to keeping up with them and following them more.
Yeah, you know, the benefit to the district play that they're in, I think that will help them is they're going to play West, you know, in the postseason, and looking at kind of how that situation, that may be beneficial to them once they get through the regular season and on into postseason play.
Let's go ahead and look at Coach Jared Nave's boys team. They get a big win over Central Magnet, 76-63, and of course that Grundy County and the Cannon County game was postponed. Justin, I really feel like Cannon County's girls and boys have a great shot of getting to the sub-state or sectionals and possibly even the state tournament. I think they're both that good, and I'm not trying to give false hope to our Cannon County viewers, but I've been impressed with them.
I've heard the exact same thing from the people that I'm talking to. For some of the reasons that I said a second ago, they're gonna be playing West a little bit. They've both got good teams, and so the combination of their path to the sectional, sub-state, and the quality of play that they have may be advantageous for them the next couple seasons.
9AA boys standings, of course it's very early. Community, Cannon, and Grundy sitting there on top, and then Forest and Cascade. We'll look at our other area schools when we return to the box score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At DTC, we're proud to provide the communication and entertainment services you need to get the most from today's technology.
Get a $50 bill credit when you add or upgrade your internet package with us. Supercharge your video streaming and high-performance gaming because we've got you covered.
Get the technology you want, backed by local customer service from neighbors you know and trust. DTC Communications, your total communications provider.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Welcome back into the box score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway. Terry Collins along with Justin Mauldin and our ESPN Connect. Nick Notes with us, doing all the hard work with the buttons in the technical aspect. We appreciate him. But Justin, as we look at these scores, some of them a little bit surprising, but it's like you said, you're going to play these teams twice. You probably don't need to lose at home, because when you go to their place, it's always a tough W when you go on the road in any district.
Oh, yeah. And this is the thing, we're starting to find out exactly what these teams are made of. I don't want to say teams don't take serious the games that come before district play, but when you get to district play, it's a different type of game. It's a different type of mentality, because you got a little bit more to play for as you're setting yourself up for it. And like you said, the smaller districts mean each game is that much more important, because you don't have the opportunity to say, yeah, you'll get everybody twice. But when you only got maybe, if you've got 8 or 10 district games, it's not a lot of room for error.
But you look, as we look at the DeKalb girls scores, the one thing is these coaches in the district, they're familiar with your play for sure. Looking at the DeKalb County Sonica Carthage scores, White County girls gets the win 80-49. That was their Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week last Friday night. Cumberland County then beats DeKalb 54-42. Says they had both their first district games at home. Let's look at the 7 AAA girls standings. You see White County, they were upset last night by Stone Memorial. You see 4 teams there at 1-1, and you got Upman sitting on top at 2-0. Not a stranger that Upman's where they're at, but I think everybody's going to suffer some losses. Maybe 2, maybe 3 losses may be atop the district when this is over. And I may be wrong about that, but I think there's that much balance and parity.
Well, you're 2 games in, and 2/3 of your teams have a loss,
right,
and they're to one another. And like you said, we'll see them bounce back. The past few seasons in this district, I know we're 1 short with Macon County being out, but the number 1 seed had 2 or 3 losses every year, and I don't think it's going to be any different this year.
Let's go ahead and look at Joey Agee's DeKalb boys. White County gets the win in Smithville 61-38, but then they bounced back last night with a big win 72-62 over Cumberland County. I know Cumberland County has struggled this year, but DeKalb was reeling, and I talked to Coach Agee after that game. He felt like there was way too much individual play, not enough team play, and they get it together and get the win at home. I think DeKalb has got to find consistency right now, and that's one thing that they have been really over the last 2 years, Justin, is inconsistent.
Yeah, and if you had a coach who, it's one of the things that you struggle with and you can't control, is getting that production on a regular basis. And you don't want to know, are we playing hot or are we playing cold? Because that's going to lead. If you're playing cold at the wrong time, then that's when you get put out of the district. If you're playing hot at the right time, as we've seen, within our teams, especially last season, that can be pretty difficult for you. I know last night, I know there was some guests, I will say, in Smithville checking out some of the players there on the court. And, I don't know if that affects your, the mentality a little bit, or how you play, or how you affect, the situation. But they come out with the win. They get to overtime, and they manage to pull it off either way.
Let's go ahead and look at the 7 3A boys standings. You got White County surprisingly on top there with a 2-0 mark after going 5-7, before Christmas. But Eric Mitchell's team's kindly finding their identity. Trip Pinion is, as we've talked about, he's one of the most solid players in the Upper Cumberland. Does everything defensively and offensively. And just like the girls, you've got 4 teams there at 1-1 with Upper and Livingston, Stone, and DeKalb, and you got Cumberland County there at 0-2. They've struggled, but still, when you look, I think once again, I think this is a wide open district regular season race.
Yeah, it could go to anybody. I'm making my projection, and it's not going to be who you think it's going to be, but I think Stone Memorial is going to finish at the top of this district.
Of course, they've got Caps, an outstanding player. Yeah. Of course, his dad is the coach, and that will be our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week with them and DeKalb here in another week. Let's go ahead and look at the Smith County girls scores. Of course, they get a couple of wins at home. They beat Monterey 69-29. And then they beat Watertown last night 57-46. Let's go ahead and look at the Watertown girls. They lose at York. There's a lot of teams going to lose at York and Gady Beatty. one of the standout players. No doubt will be a Miss Basketball finalist, or should be at the end of the year in Class 2A. And then Smith County turns around and holds serve at home. And I feel like you've got to do that because you've got a 5-team district, Justin, as we look at the district standings. So that means you've only got 8 district games, and that kind of magnifies each one. You got Smith there at 2-0, Jackson and York at 1-0. Of course, weather permitting, next Tuesday, Smith will be traveling to Jackson, who is a very much improved team, sitting there at 13-4. But it's hard for me to think that the road to the regular season championship doesn't pass through York.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know, you don't want to finish 4 or 5 and have to do that play-in game, but then also at the same time, I think if you're Jackson County or Smith County, your aim is number 1, but you definitely don't want to be number 3 because you want to be opposite of York in that district tournament, because then that at least drives you to being able to play opposite them in the championship game. And same thing for the region. You want the best situation for your team to be successful. And going into Jamestown is going to be tough when Smith County has that coming up over the next week. But they are going to finish. Smith County and York are going to finish the regular season in Carthage, if I remember correctly.
That's
and
correct.
So that may be something we need to be keeping our eyes on in the future, because that game may come down to deciding the district seeding.
Well, you look at Jackson County, not a lot of people thought they would be at the top of the district or challenge maybe there, but Jim Brown and, they've had some tough years over the last several years, but still look like they, with the 13-4 mark, have got good things awaiting them. Let's go ahead and look at the more scores. It'll be the Sonic Carthage sponsoring those. Smith County gets the big win at home by 36 over Monterey, and then you get the big win over Watertown at home. I know Trey Sanders now, you still have to define roles some with Gammon only coming on board there between Christmas and New Year's as far as the minutes go, because, different things change when you add a guy to the mix. And I think Trey's kind of figuring that out. We'll see, because they have to go to Cannon County on Friday night, to Jackson County next Tuesday night. Justin, that'll let us know, are the Owls a real threat to be the district regular season champion, or they're going to be the middle of the pack?
Yeah, you've got to be pleased, though, after going 3-0 in the Christmas Classic there at Watertown, to come out, to get that hot start, to put your foot on the pedal and to get out to an early lead. Like you said, can they maintain it? Can they keep that pressure on and keep the pedal to the metal? And
what team are we going to see for Smith County? The one that lost 3 in the Aflac Christmas Classic, or the one that won 3 in the DTC Christmas Classic at Gordonsville? I mean, it nearly looked like a tale of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and look at the Watertown boys scores. Of course, they go to York and lose 66-48, and then they lose handily to Smith County. But remember, both of those games were on the road, Justin, and I think when you see them play at home, you won't see as one-sided of games when York and Smith County go to Watertown.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the way Watertown's district schedule played out. The first half of their district play, 3 of those games are on the road.
Right.
So when we get to the second half of district play for them, they're going to be hosting those. So that will help out, and it's a whole different atmosphere, especially when you're not having to travel. I know Carthage isn't too far from them. Jamestown's a completely different drive for everybody in the district. That's a different atmosphere to be in. So I look to them to be much improved when they're hosting there in Watertown.
And when you look at Kevin Honeycutt, I think the one thing with Watertown right now, Justin, is they're playing a lot of freshmen. Started 2 freshmen last night. And when you do that, you sometimes get inconsistency because, they're just a year removed from junior high ball. Yes, they had a good team. Yes, they had a good season. But high school ball is different because you're kind of getting thrown in there against seniors. And Watertown last night, you watched the game like I did, they got really hurt on the glass. And for a lack of size, with Chase McConnell now gone from the team, they really struggled rebounding basketball.
Yeah, well, when you're talking 14, 15-year-olds and 17, 18-year-olds, physically it's completely different. And that's the thing, because they're starting these freshmen. And after the game, when he and I talked, that's what he said. He said, listen, he said, we've got a lot, a freshman here, we're looking to grow. And I told him, I said, well, the future's bright, right? Right now, it may not be exactly what you want, but you can look and see the light at the end of the tunnel and what this is going to translate in for you down the road.
Let's look at the boys' standings. Smith County sitting there at 2-0, York 1-0, Jackson 1-0, Watertown and Monterey look to be, but I still don't think you can sleep on Watertown and Monterey in every district game. I know they play each other, but York, Jackson, and Smith, I don't know that they're a 20-point better team than the bottom two.
Well, before the boys' game last night, I was talking to Coach Sanders. I said, are you going to use the last time y'all played Watertown on this court as motivation for the game tonight? Because that should be pretty good motivation.
Yeah.
And like you said, can't ever sleep on anybody, because those kind of games happen.
We'll have an interview with local basketball official and DTC man Luke Dycus in our next segment on the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
And welcome into the Box Score. We've got Luke Dycus. He does a little everything. He's kind of like Terry Collins. We've had him here on DTC. He does our football games and referees a lot. And, that's just his side hustles, not his regular everyday job. But, Luke, we appreciate you dropping in and talking with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me. I've been looking forward to this today, so thank you very much.
Luke, first question. I know that you go into a lot of environments, and some are good and some are bad. We won't ask you to name which you like and which you don't like, but being a high school official, and I did that for softball for about 25 to 30 years, going to some of these places and being a part of a radio team as far as basketball goes, it's a special environment, and basketball in the Upper Cumberland is a treat night in and night out.
Very much so. You hit that on the head, Terry. Matter of fact, I referee with guys from Memphis to Bristol, and they make comments about how much they hear about how much community involvement, how much school involvement in high school sports here, but it's, specifically in basketball. And then, if you go back and look, I know at least as long as I've been refereeing and as well as coaching, we've always had someone from our area, both girls and boys teams, to be in the state tournament, TSSAA state tournament. And that's that's a big honor to be able to say that. And so, we're fortunate to be able to see good basketball here in the Upper Cumberland area.
Luke, Terry during that introduction said, this isn't your everyday job. You do a lot of refereeing for the TSSAA, for the NC2A. I call it the NCAA, but I know you like to call it the NC2A. Tell us, how does that work out well, and what considerations do the fans and spectators need to give when they need to understand that these referees who are coming in, who are coaching these games at night, have already most of the time put in a full day worth of work, and then they're coming and giving up their time to referee as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about that work-life balance and how it plays a role in what you do?
Yeah, we actually start, Justin, it's kind of fun. People say, well, you don't do anything then from, March till November. And that's incorrect. And I, people say, well, what do you mean? What's going on during that time? And what it is during the summer, referees go to camps to try to improve and get better, learn about, how to cover certain plays and how to have a better angle in those plays. And a lot of people don't understand either. And of course, Terry's seen me referee, and Terry, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry you've been subjected to that. But
you're one of my favorite, Luke, and I'm not saying that because of the interview. I like the personal ability that you have, the accountability you have, and not all your buddies are that way, and we'll just leave it at that. I like the fact you're an open book, and if you miss a call, you'll say I missed a call. Some people are invincible when it comes to that. And now go back to your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, and thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. Referees are a hated group of individuals. That's the reason they're a very tight-knit group of individuals. And I can promise you that, as I was saying, we go to camps because we want to get better. And we get in the rule book. That way, when we call a play a certain way, we can go back to coach and say, well, coach, and let's take the block charge, for instance. And Terry, you've seen me have a number of charge calls, and the schools and some of the coaches, they've nicknamed it the crow hop. And so they like to see me crow hop at times and on the charge call. But the point I make is I want to be able to look at a coach after the crow hop and say, coach, your player, ran over a defender that had legal guarding position. So first of all, you have to understand what legal guarding position is, and then you have to understand what parameters that defender has. And let me go ahead and dispel the myth right now about this. There's a lot of belief in high school sports. Terry, you've been in this longer than I've been around, buddy. But used to, when I played back in the 80s, in high school and college ball, you had to be set still, couldn't take a breath, and you couldn't be blinking to take a charge. And that is incorrect now. That rule has changed a number of years back. And so technically in legal guarding position, legal guarding position is defined as the defender facing the offensive guy with both feet on the floor initially, and you cannot be stepped out of bounds. In other words, you can't have your foot on the sideline. I know a lot of coaches teach that, but that goes against what the rule book says. So for those that are listening, if you see a person that is a defender and their foot is on the baseline or the sideline and they take a hit, you go, they were there. You're probably correct. They were there, but you cannot have your foot on the sideline or baseline and take a charge in high school or college. That rule pertains to both high school and college.
Luke, when you look at the many different venues that you go into, and maybe collegiately on a small ball scale, you don't have the environment like you do at a lot of high school venues that you have in the Upper Cumberland. But I think, having refereed, and I've done a lot of B-team games and basketball through the years, I think, getting yourself ready for that game is a lot of the chore. And when I say that, you got to get loose. The older that I got when I refereed, it seemed like it was harder for me to get muscles stretched and all that, because you've got to be in shape, because you don't know if it's going to be a 94-foot game where you're running all the time, or if it's going to be a slow-down half-court game. And mentally, sometimes that's hard to prepare for, along with physically.
Very true statement there, Terry. And let me talk about it physically. I just had knee surgery back in the summer, and I've had to deal with that. And because of that, I've kind of favored that knee a little bit. Because of that, now I have a pulled hamstring on the opposite leg. So I have to get in, and if I'm in a college game, I have to go in and see the trainer, and they stretch me out, put me on heating pads, stim machines, the whole 9 yards to get me ready. And we have a number of very good trainers in the Upper Cumberland. Let me just say that help our high school officials, and I'm very thankful for those men and women and the service they provide, because, you know, not only are the players playing, but so do we. And here's what a lot of people don't understand. You know, referees are out there for 8 quarters a night in high school ball. And then they may have traveled there an hour to get there. And we technically have to be in the locker room 45 minutes before tip time. Well, sometimes 45 minutes is not enough time to get dressed, stretch, maybe get an ankle tape, get a knee wrapped, whatever the case may be. And then another thing that we have that a lot of people don't know is we have a pregame. And a pregame means we talk about plays and things like, I'll give you an example. Okay, guys, remember, opposite the table has the last second shot at the end of every quarter, half, end of the game, or any time overtime period. And then one of the things I talk about in my pregame is, remember, if it's 0.4 or more, they can catch and shoot the ball. If it's 0.3 or less, they can only tip or tap. That's the rule book, and I just quoted the rule book in both situations there. So, you know, again, going back to getting ready, that's part of getting ready back there in the summer. And what a lot of people don't understand, too, is we start having meetings in September and start talking about new rules, new mechanics, and things that are going on. Like, and Terry, you know this, and Justin, you as well. Justin and I have had many discussions about this, the 4 points of demarcation now in high school basketball. And then if it's backcourt or front court. And, you know, so we had to start learning about that stuff way before anybody started thinking about basketball season. So that's the way that, you know, mentally we get prepared with the pregame, and then also going to camps, going to clinics, going to things that Ken Melton and TSSAA, along with Ricky Shoulders, offers those high school officials to start getting prepared mentally. Now, the other part of that is physically. Start running. Watch your diet. And I'll not lie, when I had surgery, I had to stay off my feet for about 2 weeks. And so I picked up some weight. So I'm older than most guys, so I've got to really work hard on trying to keep my weight at what I call a playable weight, and not get to the point where, you know, I don't look the part. I don't guess I've really ever looked the part, but, you know, I at least like to try to think I do.
Well, Luke, I know you just recently celebrated, if I'm correct, your 27th birthday, so I don't think that you're too old. But, you know, you were reflecting on kind of some of the things that you do to prepare for games. But let's look at the opposite side of that. You know, self-improvement's a key, and I know you work on your craft, you know, and refereeing is a craft, and you guys take pride in what you do. What do you do as a process after a game to reflect back on your performance and to review, you know, some of the things you could have done better, done different?
Terry, I hope you don't mind, and Justin, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to compare high school and college for just a second, okay? In high school, I always like to have a post-game conference with the officials that I'm on the crew with and go, all right, guys, we had a play at 4:16 left in the third quarter. We had a block charge play, you know, and talk about that if I feel like we got it wrong. Or maybe we had some rebounding fouls that you know, were suspect, splitting hairs, blah, 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 whatever. But try to talk about those things. That way you have a chance to go away from that game and work it, but yet learn from it as well. And Justin will tell you, Terry, you know, I'm I try my best at doing the color with Coach Vance and for Justin and Nick. And Terry, you do a wonderful job. Let me just say that. I think you're one of the best in the business. And so I try to get better even from that. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I have many flaws, but in basketball, I do try to get better each night and take something away from that game and go, I need to improve in this area, whether it be my backcourt count, 10-second backcourt count, or a closely guarded 5-second count, or maybe being stronger at trail and getting down there deeper and being able to get rebound fouls and drives to the bucket that are on a primary defender, because secondary defender is going to be picked up by our lead official that's on the baseline. So, you know, I try to do that in high school as well. And when I can and I can get film, I try to get film and watch it. Now, in college, we automatically have a platform that as soon as I get off the floor, I can literally go into the locker room and pull that platform, that side up, and I can go directly to a play, and I can see immediately after that game if I blew the call or I got the call correct. But to go back to what you said, or what you asked, Justin, I try to watch as much game film, both high school and college, that I can, because that's the only way that you can. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the right spot, but in all actuality, I go back and look at a game film and I go, oh my gosh, I was 2 steps too deep, or 2 steps, too far out at trail or at slot. And so I like to be in the right spot, because here's the thing. If I'm in the right place, I automatically put myself in a position for my call accuracy to go up, and that's what I want. And I give myself 3 plays a game, and I say, okay, I'm not going to try to get 3 plays wrong, but that's it. After that, I'm going to try to be perfect the rest of the game. But we all know that referees aren't perfect, and although we try, and there's some great men and women that wear stripes and go out on the floor on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday nights in high school and in the Upper Cumberland. And I'm very blessed and honored to have those people as co-workers on the floor, but also as friends, because we build a tight relationship on and off the floor. So anyway, it is what it is.
Luke, when you're looking at the game and it's progressed, just during the time that you have been an official, the athletes are bigger, the athletes are stronger. It makes it a tougher game to referee. And I think, a lot of fans, they're ruthless. I'll just go ahead and be honest. It wouldn't matter if Jesus Christ came back and called their game, it would be wrong. I promise you it would be wrong. So when you look at that, I think the official being in position to make that call, making his call, standing by it, and, I've even had to tell coaches before on the softball field or wherever I'm at, hey, coach, I missed out when I was trying to make it up to you, whatever. But that is today's game, because they're athletes, as you know, year by year, you see them getting quicker, better, faster, stronger.
It's funny. They're all staying in high school 15, 16, 17 years old, and in college they're 20, 21, 22, and they all stay that age. But for some reason, as Justin alluded to a moment ago, I keep getting older. And I don't understand that, Terry, but if you find out and you know the answer, if you don't care, text me once we get off the air today, and you let me know the secret to that. But, yes, kids are they're faster, stronger, bigger, faster, stronger. I used to hear that from a guy that played for Coach Bryant, Rocky Coburn. I coached with him down in Alabama for a while, and he always told me there's always going to be somebody bigger, faster, stronger. And I saw that when I was coaching high school ball in Alabama, but now that I'm an official, I really see it. And the game has progressed in the 16 years that I've been an official. It's really progressed, and it is now a faster game than ever. One thing that the state of Tennessee does not do that some surrounding states do is we don't have a shot clock. And I'm telling you, once you put a shot clock in a game, that really speeds things up. I'm going to a game tonight. A young man put up 64 points recently, a couple days ago, in a college game, and I'm going to get the chance to work him tonight and see. And I've seen him play in the past. He's a great athlete. But to look at him, you would not think that he's as quick as he is, but he's a very smart player as well. And that's another thing. Players now are becoming smarter. Coaches are smarter than they've ever been. And so, and I'm going to go ahead and fess up to it, Terry, so you can hear me say this. You're a witness along with Justin. The toughest calls that I have to make as an official is the walk. And here's why. First of all, we try to referee from the ground up. So I got to find that offensive guy and see which one is his pivot foot. Then next, I got to pick up that defender and see if he's legal or not, going back to legal guarding position. And all of a sudden, I got to figure out, wait a minute, did he slide step? Did he bunny hop? Did he chop step to get out of that and get around a defender? And sometimes they're so quick in their footwork, it's tough to see if they really walked or not. You go, man, that looked kind of funny. And I've even said that before. I had a game at West Florida recently, and I looked at it and thought for sure that I had a walk on this kid. And I called it, boom, called a walk, would go the other way. I get in the hotel, start watching the game film, and no way, it was not a walk. But the way his footwork was and the way he handled himself, it was so quick off the dribble, I was sure that he walked. So we get them wrong, but that's a tough call for me because kids, like I said, so much bigger, faster, stronger. And now kids work on their footwork along with their hands and eye work and the whole 9 yards more than they ever have. So that's a hard, tough call for me. So if I miss a walk call, I'm sorry in advance.
Luke, got one question for you as we're getting ready to wrap this interview up. I know the TSSAA is always looking for officials, and I know you yourself have organized officiating clinics and stuff before. If there's anyone who's watching this that may be interested in getting into refereeing, can you give us any information or tell them where they can go to obtain information on becoming an official?
I am more than happy to talk to anyone at any time about officiating. And, if you guys want to give them, I don't know if you have an email address there or whatever, that they want to contact y'all and want to talk to me, I'll be more than happy to contact them and try to help them get into officiating. And, yes, Justin, you're right. I had 2 clinics, one last spring and then one this past fall, and we had some interest there. But we need more good people. And I'm telling you, sometimes as officials, we have tough nights, and people think, man, they're horrible, they're not good people. Let me tell you, some of the best people in the Upper Cumberland area are guys and girls that wear stripes, and we need more good people. I am the liaison of this area between TSSAA, the North Central Basketball Officials Association. Mr. Ken Melton is the assigner and boss there for that group. And I contact these individuals that show interest, and then I try to start talking to them and helping them do what they have to do to get enrolled and do the necessary things to be able to step onto a high school floor. And let me just say this. Not everybody is cut out to be a high school or middle school or elementary school referee. And I'm not very good, but I can tell you this right now. I love what I do. And it's the best side job in the world. I've been blessed. The good Lord's been good to me. Terry, Justin, we're very fortunate to live in this area. And I'm just, I'm thankful as I can be to know a lot of these folks, coaches and administrators, and also be a referee.
Well, Luke Dycus, we appreciate you taking time to be with us. Safe travels to you, and hopefully we'll see you here very soon on a court refereeing.
I hope so, Terry. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great afternoon.
And we've been talking to Luke Dycus. We'll have more of the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway, when we return.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
So, go check it out.
Deterring crime,
It's the first job of a home security system from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. The time to get started is right now.
Let us help protect your home.
So? A lot of nice stuff and an alarm.
Don't delay. Call DTC Security now or visit us online.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Welcome back into the box score for the last segment. We want to thank Carthage Safeway, over and see Todd and Angela on Dixon Springs Highway. Appreciate it. Let them know that you appreciate them sponsoring the box score. And they've got a great plate lunch every day for breakfast and for lunch, so go over and see them. We've got some basketball coming up. We've got Smith County at Cannon County. Cannon County, always a tough place to play. I'm sure Ashley Patrick's Lionettes are probably looking for revenge after losing the game at Smith County. Cannon County got a big win at Carthage, and it's going to be a stern test for the Owls and Lady Owls.
Yeah, I know Coach Patrick was not too pleased even with their game they had this Saturday against Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Of course, they didn't play Tuesday night,
right.
So you know they're itching to get back on the court. They've got a sour taste in their mouth from their last game. They got a sour taste in their mouth from the game in Carthage, so they're going to come in roaring and ready to show what it means to come into Woodbury, because that's their court.
Right.
Not anybody else's court. That's their court, and I think that they're going to hold home court advantage there and be ready to go.
It's our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week, and the air times for that will be on Tuesday, January the 16th at 7 p.m., Wednesday, January 17th at 1, and then on Thursday, January the 18th, and Saturday, January the 20th at 7 p.m. If you'd like to see the replay of that Smith County at Cannon County game. Let's go ahead and look at the upcoming games for Cannon County, as we just talked about. Of course, they've only played one game, and I'm sure after get that one postponed, they're ready to get back in a routine, Justin. They'll have Smith County, but then they'll go to Community, Unionville. It's a nice gym. It's a great atmosphere. But I think Cannon County girls and boys in that game got to kind of flex their muscle. They need to show the new district, hey, we're looking at winning the regular season district championships.
Yeah, and I think that's what they wanted to do when they were going to go to Grundy County this past Tuesday night. But unfortunately, with the wind and the weather, they were having some power issues there, and that wasn't able to take place. So they'll get to go down, like you said, to Unionville, who has a nice gym set up. I guarantee you that student section will be going, though, and we'll be giving it to them and will help impact the game. But I just don't see the Lions and the Lionettes leaving Unionville without the W on Tuesday night.
Let's go ahead and look at the DeKalb County games. Of course, they're in the middle of that District 7 3A matchup, and they go to Justin Mauldin's alma mater, Upperman, a place that's tough to play and a tough place to try to go and get a win?
The Beehive know it fairly well. You know, experienced a lot of games there, and you know, they're going to have a tough time in Baxter. They're going to have a tough time when they go on the road to Livingston. Unfortunately, they've got to, you know, District 7 AAA, Upper Cumberland basketball, girls basketball. I know we haven't seen the rankings yet for the first state poll. I really expected the girls poll to be out. They released a boys poll, but I never saw a girls poll come out. And we're going to see these teams, Upperman and Livingston, and these other teams in this district, White County, who are going to be up there. And it's going to be a tough haul each and every night for DeKalb County. The thing that's interesting here is you would think they lost Macon County. That would make it easier in postseason district play. But really, the 1 seed got the bye in the 7 team. When you go to the 6 team, the 1 and 2s get the bye.
Right.
You've actually got more teams getting the bye, so those, you know, that 1 and 2 becomes even more important than it was in the past.
DeKalb and Livingston always in the old District 8 AA was always a tough matchup, and I'm sure it will be this coming Tuesday night when DeKalb County travels up to Overton County. Let's go ahead and look at the Gordonsville games, which are upcoming. Of course, a boys-only game at Clark Range. That being at 6 o'clock. There was sickness involved before. But, Justin, when you look, and, you know, we fade back to when we had those district standings, you know, you only got 5 teams in this district. You only got 8 district games. So each one very, very critical.
Yeah, they are, and you can't, again, there's not a small mistake in district play in the district when you've only got 8 games. Right. Because, again, the mistakes are magnified, the losses are magnified, because there just isn't the possibility to make them up. I know for the girls, it's going to be a long layoff at this point in the season. I don't know that you want to be off a week before you play another game, before they make the trip to Salina, the boys and girls there. That's going to be a tough one to go in with Rob Edwards' team and with Coach Walker's team to try to go in there and get some solid footing here in district play.
You know, Clay County is struggling, though, girls and boys, from what Clay County is normally accustomed to. So, you know, Gordonsville boys especially looking to go in there to pull out a win, just like they did against Red Bowling. Red Bowling had gone to Clay County and got a win in the boys game, and then Gordonsville knocks off Red Bowling. Let's look at the upcoming games for the Owls and Lady Owls. Of course, they go to Cannon County, and then next Tuesday night, of course, all of this is weather permitting, Smith County at Jackson County. They're hollering for awfully cold weather and Monday snow, so we'll just have to see what transpires. Go ahead and look at the Watertown games. Of course, there's only 1 game there, and that's Watertown at Monterey. And when you look, you know, I know that is a district game, but I think as far as the boys is concerned, Watertown needs to find their footing, because, you know, if they're going to play in that 4-5 game, and I don't know exactly how the district format's going to come out. I've heard that the 4-5s are going to Gainsborough to play, but, you know, you'd rather be that top seed and have the confidence that you got to win. And Watertown girls, after, you know, taking it on the chin at Smith County, they'll be looking to right the ship and get a W.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said confidence, right? This is not going to be a game about pride. This is going to be a game that's going to be a confidence builder to help them to show, hey, we do have something in us, and we can go up here. Watertown can travel up the mountain to Monterey. Thankfully, that game is on Friday, not next Tuesday, because I would imagine that would not be played next Tuesday up on Monterey Mountain. But I'm sure that they're looking forward to it, and Keller and Honeycutt are going to have them ready.
Upcoming area games, we're going to look at York at Jackson County. Of course, that's an old 8 AA battle. Of course, it's a district battle. Now you got Livingston at Stone. You know, that's last year was proved to be some great games, both girls and boys. And you got Cumberland County at White County. So when you look, that's 3 pretty critical District 7 3A games. You got Pickett County at Clark Range. That's always been a battle. That'll be for at least through the first half of the girls side will be for the top seed, and then Upperman at White County. So we've got some great games upcoming ahead. We want to thank Nick Noakes. For Justin Mauldin, I'm Terry Collins. Good night on the Box Score.